Okay, so it's 10:03. Few minutes have passed. I see 21 participants here. Hopefully, more will still join. And today we have actually a very mysterious topic to look upon, which is Eastern Europe. And I'm happy that today with me here are great speakers, local ones from the Eastern European markets. And today you will hear Andrei Kurgan from Gateway Partners Romanian Moldova office, who is, good morning, Andrei.
Good morning, Laura. Good morning, everyone.
Yes,
happy to be here with you.
And Andrei is a very well-known expert in Romania and Moldova's market. He, as a local, knows how to help local companies to export, and therefore he definitely knows what local companies need. And this will be the knowledge he will be sharing with us today. The other speaker we will hear today is Asatilia Kostinger from Gateway Partners Albania and Kosovo. Good morning, Asatilia.
Good morning, everybody, and very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
And Asatilia has great experience working with startup world, and she knows the best what new companies need and what are the biggest challenges for them when they start exporting. So very interesting topics that we will cover. And finally, we will have the third speaker, Udi Zamans from Preko. Good morning, Udi.
Good morning, everybody.
And Udis will share his experience, or company's Preko experience, working with Eastern European markets. Mostly focusing on Czech Republic, and I have to say that metalworking company, conveyor manufacturer, who is looking not only in the typical markets where Latvian exporters are looking into, but also some that are not the topical markets, and that will be also a very good experience story to listen to. And me, Laura Valtere, I will be the moderator of this event and trying to help you to answer the questions of how to enter Eastern European markets and what to keep in mind when we are going to these markets. And to get in this topic, I wanted to warm us up a bit and look at the numbers. So where are we with export at the moment? And if we look in overall situation, that at the moment in Latvia, there is registered 180,000 companies in total. And only 1,800 of these companies export about 1 million a year, which means that is actually only 1% of Latvian established companies do export and have it as their priority number one. These companies also, this 1% companies, they also employ 20% of Latvian employees, as well as 35% of Latvia's taxes are paid by this 1% of companies, which shows that actually this 1% is the backbone of our export in our country. All these data you can find in Latvian Exporters Association Red Jackets, which is a very great tool to see where we are today with export and where we are planning to be. Another topic is that 60% of Latvian GDP comes from export, which means if we want to live better, we need to put export as our priority number one. And we can see very clearly already now in one of very big neighboring countries where that is next to us, what happens to a country if everybody refuses to work with them and they do not export at all. So we know what happens with a country if it is not exporting. So definitely, if we want to live better, we do need to export a lot, and that needs to be our priority number one. But if we look at where Latvia exports at the moment, then we see that in top 10 countries, there are very safe choices. Of course, neighboring countries, that comes from economics, that is logical. Then, of course, Scandinavia, which is near, close, we understand them. And of course, then the biggest European markets like Germany, UK, with 80 million people as potential buyers. And of course, all these are safe markets to look at. But if they're safe, that means it is safe not only for us, but also to others. And of course, the competition in these markets are huge. If we look at today's topic, Eastern Europe, then these Eastern European countries in target countries for Latvia comes only in top 20 or even top 30. So this is actually the reason of this webinar, to tell more about these markets, that we should not be afraid of them, and who can better tell that than people who are from these markets. And therefore, I would like to give the floor to Andrei Krigan, who will tell us more about the Eastern European markets, mostly focusing on Romania and Moldova. So Andrei, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you also to Leah for inviting us to participate at this webinar and share our knowledge, our experience with Romania and Moldova, Republic of Moldova markets as opportunities for Latvian exporters. I think if you allow me, I would request your permission to share my screen, so it's going to be more comfortable to... Yeah. You see now my screen, yeah? Cool. I hope also the technical part, the internet connection, will be acceptable. So we move on. Our experience in Romania and the Republic of Moldova is, with Gateway Partners, is we're celebrating next week already 5 years. Actually, it's already in Romania 4 years and 5 years in the Republic of Moldova. And we have worked with already a good bunch of companies from the Baltics, coming from Latvia, exploring Moldova and Romania's market. So we start with Romania and some key economic data about the country. You can see also some interesting stuff on your screens. And what you should know about Romania is, by the way, it's the 6th largest population in EU. It has the 6th largest population. It's almost 20 million population. It is also the 2nd largest country in Central and Eastern Europe region after Poland. And the World Bank classifies Romania as a high-income country, which indicates improving living standards. The growth rate of its economy has been dynamic over the past years, and Romania has been able to impress all kinds of analysts and experts when it was reaching very interesting and high economic growth rates. So from the perspective of purchasing power, the market is really interesting. The consumers are really open for new products, but also looking for quality products. So what we should know also that Romania and the Republic of Moldova used to be one country, and actually they share the same language and culture and history. So when we speak about Romania and Moldova, we should think of a perspective of a common market in this respect. Okay, we move on to some exports and imports trends. So Romania top global imports are electrical machinery, equipment and appliances, vehicles. Romania is also a big producer of vehicles and cars, mineral fuels and oils, plastics, pharmaceuticals, iron, steel and products thereof, optics and chemical products. Specifically from Latvia, you see also same categories: electrical equipment, plastics in top, machinery and appliances, but also beverages, wood products, mineral fuels, oils, essential oils, edible products, fertilizers, dyes, and other. Who are the competitors of Latvian products? In 2021, the EU, so 70% of Romania's imports came from EU. So basically 20%, 1/5 is Germany, Italy 9%, Hungary, and Poland. While outside the EU, the key imports come from China, Turkey, and Russian Federation. In 2021, Latvia ranked 62nd in Romania's total imports, so it has a small share of only 0.04% in value. And I say there's a huge potential for Latvian products to penetrate the Romanian market and grow there. For example, for the Republic of Moldova, Romania now has become the biggest partner. Before that, it was CIS countries, Russia mainly. But now Romania, since 2014, when Moldova entered the EU, signed the DCFTA, Romania has become one of the important partners, both for imports, but also for exports. And top exports to Latvia from Romania, also maybe you're interested to know that, is tobacco products, pharmaceuticals, electrical equipment, machinery and appliances, toys and sports requisites, aluminium, iron, steel, furniture. Romania is a well-known furniture producer and vehicles. Related to the key economic trends, Romania has been among the European leaders with the fastest growing and very promising economy, a significant increase of salaries. In the last year, the government of Romania is also forcing the employers to pay more salaries. So they are increasing the minimal salary. Also, there are discussions this year about this. So this results in a huge increase of consumption among the citizens. So Romania is consuming a lot. Their trade balance is negative, most of the products. So it's also an issue for Romania because they also lack an important export power from the local entrepreneurs. That's also because Romania has a big market of 20 million consumers, and they're somehow satisfied with the level of prices and how much they sell on the Romanian market internally. So you can compete with them easily because Latvia, just like Moldova, just like Albania, small countries, have no other option than exports. Is our only option, so to grow our economies. So Romania is a very interesting market in this respect to grow with too. So World Bank indicates that the impact of the pandemic on Romanian households is decreasing. Actually, it has decreased a lot. Romanians were also known by not respecting a lot the discipline in COVID times, though the police was enforcing a lot this part. They also have a big diaspora outside the countries, and since they are members of EU, they travel quite a lot. So frequent travels for work and coming back and spending a lot of money in the country is also known for that. So Romania mainly recovered from the COVID pandemic, and basically there are no restrictions now to travel to Romania. In comparison, the average net salary in Romania, if we talk about the purchasing power, so in Romania is around 809 euros, and Latvia is 950, the latest summer data. But if we talk about real salaries, since a lot of employers work with minimal wages, I think the real salary is even bigger than in Latvia. So the purchasing power, I think it's higher. It's my own perception. Romania's economy is facing an increase of inflation and slower growth in 2022, just like other economies in the EU, and not only EU. And the National Bank of Moldova projects an inflation of almost 14% in the country, and going down in 2023 to 8%. So the GDP growth is also forecasted to around 4%. But as I mentioned already, Romania's economy has already made a profession of impressing the analysts and economists, growing always higher than all the estimations are made. And probably its population, its buying force, pushes a lot of private consumption and investments are expected to remain the main growth drivers in Romania's economy. So they're doing quite well in this respect. About the spending priorities and how they change, the retail sales continue to grow in Romania during the years. However, the high inflation is impacting the retail market as it grows slower than the inflation. This year, the increasing consumer frugality is part of doing economies is one of the key emerging trends. Now, also the latest data from the National Bank of Romania shows that the deposits of the population in the banks are decreasing. So basically, they are starting to using their reserves, the population, and the National Bank of Romania is forcing the banks in the country to increase the interest rates for deposits so they keep up with the liquidity. So there are signs of cooling down of the consumption, but depends on how the economy goes this year, they will very fast come back. This is what we have seen after all crises that have hit us in the last 10 years. In the coming months, local consumers are expected to tighten their expenditure, meaning that most non-essential and many essential products are likely to be affected by substitution of trading down. But if you travel to Bucharest these days, I just came back last week from there, so everything is still booming there in the capital. Though this is not a sign that everything happens like that in the country. So yeah, we should be paying attention to that. Romania has an increasingly digital market that is growing quite well. Romania has 19 million potential consumers, big populations. Around 90% of them are internet users and 45% are also shopping online. And according to Statista, the share of individuals who made domestic and cross-border online purchases is significant. Around 10% of local online shoppers already purchased from online retailers in other EU countries since 2020. And the e-commerce, both local and cross-border, boosted by the pandemic restrictions on physical shopping, and are expected to continue developing thanks to its convenience and the benefit of accessing a wider selection of goods. And also the logistical infrastructure of delivery is quite well developed in Romania. And a little bit about the access to the market and logistics. Romania is a member of the EU, just like Latvia, entered in 2007. This means that there are no custom duties on goods moving between EU member states. For Moldova, for example, or Albania, it's a little bit more complicated. And key regulations are synchronized. Furthermore, EU member states apply common customs tariff, as you know, so for all goods imported from outside the EU, and goods that have been legally imported can circulate in the EU with no additional custom checks. So you can deliver your products quite easily to Romania. Possible trade barriers may include the following challenges from the bureaucratic, legislative, or economic perspective: compliance with product-specific local rules, maybe, or not a lot. Local product labeling, advertising, and trade practices regulations. These things are varying from country to country in the EU. And price and currency fluctuations might be an issue because Romania is not yet a member of the Eurozone. And about the foreign languages proficiency, English remains the most popular foreign language in Romania and is the most popular. And according to Eurostat, half of the population of Romania, around 30, is second language. So you can easily do business with Romanians, specifically the businessmen. They all speak, most of them speak English. Romania borders with a lot of countries: Ukraine, Moldova, Bulgaria, Serbia, and Hungary. It has an exit to the Black Sea also. Some very important ports. The country is conveniently located at the crossroads of three large markets. So basically, as a member of the EU, the CIS, and the Middle East. So the territory of the country is crossed by some of the key pan-European transport corridors. linking Europe from west to east, from north to south, and also big part of the Danube River crosses on the south in Romania, bordering with Bulgaria. So it's very much used also for transporting lots of goods. Of course, Romania being a big country has a lot of gaps in terms of physical infrastructure. The road infrastructure is a challenge because the infrastructure is not keeping the pace with the economic development. But there are plans to improve this infrastructure in terms of motorways in Romania. Yeah, what else? I mean, yeah, they pay also a big attention to CO2 footprint of the industries, and they prefer to shift to cleaner transportation solutions. So we can see now that also linked to the e-commerce trends, the companies that are in the delivery business, they are passing little by little to the fleets with electric and hybrid engines, focusing on positive impact of their activity on the Romanian economy. And a little bit in the end about Romania, about its business culture and what you should consider when you interact with Romanian businessmen and Romanian people. What is to be known is Romanian business culture is formal and hierarchical. Romanians give great importance to courtesy and respect for the elderly. Meetings tend to be dominated by senior decision makers. Yeah, though I don't get this feeling too much when I meet older businessmen, they tend still to be showing a younger spirit. Initial greetings are formal and reserved. A firm handshake with good eye contact is normal. However, you should only shake hands with a woman if she initiates the gesture. And usually they offer their hands, the ladies themselves. Punctuality is considered a strong point when doing business, and it's important to arrive on time or even a little earlier. Punctuality is common in new companies and in those operating in international arena. Though, for example, in Bucharest, due to the very intense traffic jams, there might be a situation when even the host is not on time for their meetings. When you are invited to a business meeting in Romania, you can bring a small gift that is polite, but the gift shouldn't be something expensive. It's going to be good if you bring something traditional. For example, for Moldova, they prefer to see a cognac or a wine, a good wine, so they like them a lot. So they're very happy to receive a bottle of wine. The dress code is dictated by the formality of the business meetings. So for a formal meeting where business needs to be discussed between people who have never met before, it is important to present a highly professional image. Suits, smart tie, or accessories, Romanians will appreciate that. Presentation should be well argued and easy to understand, including figures to support conclusions, just like we started. Laura showed us a little bit of powerful statistics. Avoid making exaggerated claims. Romanians prefer to do business with people who are honest and who do not brag about their achievements or financial achievements, though we have met also businessmen in Romania like that sometimes. Titles are very important and show respect, although they are always polite. Romanians rarely go by their first names with people outside the family or with very close friends until they know them. But if they know you, they would insist that you name them by the first small name. And English is practicality, the second language of the country. As I was saying, most of the businessmen are speaking English. Of course, we speak Romanian. We share the same language, the same culture, so it's easier for us. And especially the young generation is in the biggest cities, they speak English, but also German, because Germans are some of the biggest investors in Romania, and of course French. French business is also quite well present there. So that was it about Romania, and a little bit of insights into the Moldovan market and export opportunities for Latvian producers in Moldova. We are covering also this office. And about Moldova, I think you know more, I suppose, because we were once part of the former Soviet Union together. Moldova is a relatively small, rapidly developing, lower middle income economy. Over the past years, it has made significant progress in reducing poverty and promoting inclusive growth. The country has applied for EU membership in 2022. So we have also received, together with Ukraine, the status of candidate countries. Since 2014, we have the free trade agreement with EU. So most of the products that are imported also trade without taxes. There are some categories like food products that Moldova would like to protect its market still. They have some taxes, but in some 10 years, this will be abolished. Some already are abolished. Things are changing. You can see also the Moldova is growing with some 4 to 5% on average economy. So we're trying to keep up with the trends and improve the level of life for the people, and a lot of support from EU comes to Moldova in this respect. What is Moldova known for? Top global imports. We import a lot of mineral fuels and oils, machinery, equipment and appliances, vehicles. We do not produce vehicles, plastics, pharmaceuticals, wood products. We don't have that much wood, iron, steel, everything. That most of that was coming from Ukraine. Now with the war, all that we are looking for that from Europe, from other countries outside EU. The European Union is increasingly important trade partner for Moldova. In 2021, Moldova's imports primarily came from Russian Federation. Now, basically, Romania has become the first partner. China used to be the second, and sometimes first also. But now with the issues with the logistics, it's in top 5. But of course, Ukraine, Germany, Turkey, Italy, and Poland. This would be your competitors in Moldova, the products from these countries. In 2021, Latvia ranked 35th, and Moldova's kind of the same position like in Romania, top 30, top 35. So not a big share for the imports and exports. So there's a big potential, I will say that. So if it's a small share, there's a big potential to grow, or a good, interesting potential to tackle it. So you can also see the graphs with top imports from Latvia, but also top exports to Latvia. So we are importing from Latvia pharmaceuticals, meat and fish products, edible products, electrical equipment, optical products, lots of industrial products, clothing also there, paper, fuels, and we are exporting pharmaceuticals, but this usually are re-exports, beverages, of course, the wine, fruits, processed vegetable and fruit, plastics, preparations of cereal, sugar, so more food products or food processed products. With Romania, for example, which might be also a good hint for Latvian exporters, with Romania has a complementary economy. So as we said, so Moldova is producing a lot of food products. Romania is more into the industrial non-food products. So basically, that would be an interesting option for Latvian food exporters, beverages, food, because Romania has a big negative trade balance on food products. So a little bit about the key economic trends in Moldova. In 2021, economic activity recovered strongly in Moldova after the pandemic. You saw the big growth, the record growth for the Moldovan economy. The country experienced increase in wages, remittances, and social support, which stimulated private consumption. A lot of direct support, budgetary support is coming to Moldova, also infrastructure investments. So that is all helping increase the level of salaries in the Republic of Moldova and bringing more purchasing power. Yeah, the CPI, we are kind of in the Republic of Moldova has a record now, I think 33.6%. I think Turkey has around 78% inflation, but we are at 35 already, I think end of summer. Inflation driven by the increased global energy and food prices, because we are netto importer of energy and oils. And of course, food prices are impacting because we're also importing lots of processed food stuff. Additionally, some over 500,000 refugees that were running from the war from Ukraine came into Moldova this year, also representing huge purchasing power. As you may know, also Moldova was basically one of the countries that received a lot of refugees. And we are also known by the fact that we have been able to host more than 90% of the refugees in our own houses. So there were no camps created, but in houses, apartments, houses, villas, basically all Ukrainians that came here were accommodated there. And yeah. Okay, the IMF forecasts that the economy of Moldova will stagnate in 2022. We also see the slowdown of the economy in the official statistics, and still having the candidate status from EU shows us a very interesting perspective to enter to be as EU member already. And also very interesting business opportunities for those who want to do business with Moldovan companies. A little bit about the orientation of supply chains. Russia's invasion in Ukraine has had a significant impact on Moldova's economy. Moldova was importing also a lot of stuff from Ukraine, wood products, metal, food stuff, also dairy products. So 20% was coming from Ukraine, Russia, and Belarus. With these supplies now unavailable, Moldova has to rapidly obtain subsidies from the EU and is already obtaining. Moldova cannot rely on Ukrainian roads and ports infrastructure. Basically, all that infrastructure that was used for exports and also for imports is not accessible. The main port that Moldova works through is, it has a port on Danube River, but it's a small and so overcrowded. It's used, they use Constanța, but now it also has become expensive because everyone in the region is using Constanța in Romania to bring and to ship products. And Constanța is also overcrowded, but it's also 2 times more expensive than, for example, Odessa was. About the e-commerce, also it is estimated that 34 Moldovans are shopping online. They're using the international marketplaces like Alibaba, eBay, Amazon, and Joom. And Poșta Moldovei, the Moldovan Post, is known for being the delivery service for the products. Okay, in terms of access market, the EU-Moldova trade relations are determined by the free trade area, as I was saying, since 2014, already for 8 years. And Moldova has introduced removal of a lot of import duties for most goods traded between EU, specifically industrial products, non-food products. For some food products, Moldova is still protecting its market. Also Moldova is a member of WTO and has a lot of free trade agreements with lots of countries. Also a lot of CIS countries, most of them, but not all of them are accessible due to the political and geopolitical context. Possible trade barriers in Moldova are linked to local legislation, which is not yet fully harmonized with EU standards, but Moldova is working a lot on that. Local product labeling, but with entrance of Kaufland, for example, in Moldova, which is big German retail, they have changed lots of stuff in terms of labeling, advertising, and trade practices. So basically, that's a lot harmonized. So if you bring food products or processed food products for the retail or non-food, so it's going to be a lot easier in Moldova. And of course, the price and currency fluctuation is an issue, but the leu, the local currency, stays quite strong related to euro and dollar, and it's from this perspective, it's somehow stable. Logistics, Moldova is a landlocked country. That's one of the big issues for Moldova. Borders with Romania and Ukraine and can be accessed mainly by land. So route transports by land and Chișinău Airport, international airport. Moldova has a well-developed infrastructure in terms of road and railroad connections. There were some big investments now made to interconnect Ukraine, but mainly to export to Ukraine. Moldova has become one of the biggest, I think, now exporter of energy products to Ukraine due to the war and high demand there, and due to the fact that Ukraine cannot import those easy from east. Some logistical challenges also are linked to the international trade and to the war, of course. Yeah, there is also Transnistrian region, that is a Russian separatist enclave. Now it is locked because it borders mainly with Ukraine. So basically, all the linkages are now through the right bank of Dniester River for Moldova with the EU, and most of their products also go to EU. But there's some estimations of 500,700,000 people present there that are also potential consumers for these products, and they also now are importing products into the region from EU and from Moldova. So they're landlocked, and also the borders are locked with Ukraine. Yeah, and a little bit about the business culture, and I finished my presentation. Classic outfit is nominal, widely used by businessmen and officials. Shaking hands is more important than in the West. A firm handshake is typical for most situations. Creating an extraordinary impression is quite specific. For example, having an expensive car. Well, what can I say? Recommendations and personal connections are highly valued. As a supplier of services, you will be persistently asked for discounts. Moldova is one of the poorest countries, so good prices is always important. Communication is usually warm and welcoming. There are no strict taboo subjects. So Moldova is Moldovan business are very friendly and very hospitable. Make direct eye contact when you talk to your Moldovan partners. That's okay. And foreign languages, most of the older businessmen speak Romanian and Russian, which might be easier for the Latvian businessmen. And the young people know English well. And the problems with the Moldovan partners are best to be discussed in private if you come to some issues. Building relationships with Moldovan partners is important because decisions are often made outside the office environment. Non-formal, it is important to accept invitations to social events, coffee breaks, or lunches. Check the company policy before giving gifts to your Moldovan counterparts, but I'd say that's not a problem. Moldovans like to offer gifts and also receive them. And business consultants is still perceived as something intangible in the Republic of Moldova. That being said, I would be happy to answer any questions you have related to Romania or Moldova, now or later. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrei. You know, Latvians are quite shy nation. We don't like to talk in public. So definitely all the participants are also welcome to write in questions in the chat. As well as you can afterwards definitely drop a line, and we will help you with the answers. Yes,
great pleasure.
There is a question.
Yes, I can see. Can you comment shortly about the healthcare industry? Oh, that's a very interesting industry. Depends on are you in the private hospitals or products for the healthcare industry? Actually, Moldova is liberalizing little by little the private healthcare. The sector was dominant obviously by the state hospitals, but now more and more opportunities appear in this respect. Lots of clinics, lots of private hospitals in various areas. And still everything that is related to cancer is a state monopoly, but I know it is changing. Also surgery already lots of it is being done by the private sector. So there's an interesting big potential in this respect. We don't have, if you are a supplier of these products, then there's a very interesting potential in selling these products. And if it's a quality product, of course, it increases your chances. So yes, everything linked to the private healthcare is very interesting and is booming and growing in Moldova, because the state cannot offer still the quality and is losing turn in this respect. I hope I answered your question. For any details, we are available to have a chat, a Zoom call later and discuss more.
Thank you, Yazis, for the question. Somebody else has something on his mind, then definitely drop in the chat or speak. But if at the moment there are no questions, then we can go further. And we will turn to Asatilia Kostinger from Albania, who will tell about Albania and Kosovo. Thank you, Andrei.
So good morning again, and I'll take you now to the south. And the south, as you might imagine, is hot and unpredictable. We will start with Albania. Albania is a small country located on the Adriatic Sea and surrounded by Montenegro, land border Montenegro, Kosovo, North Macedonia, and Greece. And on the other side, on the west, from Italy on the other side of the Adriatic Sea. I was born in Albania, and now I live in Austria, but I'm partner for Gateway Partners Albania and Kosovo. That's why I'll try to make it as local as possible. Yeah, it's a small country, 28,000 square kilometers with over 300 of coastline, under 3 million. I mean, they keep saying 3 million, but it's 2.8 actually. People are leaving the country. Also, the last 2 years increasingly. The capital of Albania is Tirana, is located really in the center, same distance from the north and south. The currency is lek, Albanian lek is L-E-K. The official language is Albanian only, but people speak, most of the under 35 years old have as their first foreign language Italian, and English is very spread. So most young people are bilingual, or they speak very good three languages. The GDP is $18.3 billion in 2021, but purchasing power parity, GDP per capita was $15,000, 646. The growth from 20 to 21, it was 8.5, of course, after COVID. The inflation in 2021 was 2%, but it is expected to go over 5 in 2022. Yeah, it's a relatively small, very fast growing through the vicinity to the European Union, through the languages vicinity, young population. It was one of the poorest territories in Europe. Now it's changing to become an upper middle income state. It is a pre-accession country, so it's in the current agenda for the EU enlargement. Most probably be the first country from the new countries who will join. That means a lot of infrastructure investment and human capital investment is expected to come. The association process is preceded with a lot of it's called chapter opening. That means all the 27 chapters will be looked at to be first to do the approximation with the European legislation, and then human capacity development, a lot of technical assistance in different sectors. It's expected that trade will be the first one to be completed as a chapter, so there is a lot to be done here. Albania has over 300 sunny days per year. It's at the door of Europe. There are flights from main European capitals, 1.5 hour, maximum 2.5 hours from London. It's very multicultural and multilingual. And the IT sector and the service sector has grown rapidly, and together with clean energy. So I was part of last week of a big forum, and clean energies, of course, growing water so far, but also solar and geothermal are also being looked at. Albania is very rich in minerals from chromite, bauxite, ores, aluminium, but most of them are exported unprocessed. Top imports from Latvia for Albania are fish, pharmaceuticals, electrical equipment, the biggest voices, but then also beverages, minerals, fuels, and oils, oil seeds and grains, wood products, machinery and appliances, fertilizers, essential oils, and other products. Top exports to Latvia, the list is a bit smaller: oil seeds and grains, fruits and nuts, vegetables, iron products, electrical equipment, and other. Top global imports are also mineral fuels and oils. Albania imports a lot of machinery and equipment, appliances. Of course, vehicles is nothing produced in the country, iron and steel and products thereof, plastics, pharmaceuticals, and apparel. European Union is the main importing and exporting partner. The imports are primarily 25% came from Italy, Turkey 10%. Of course, China, it's its own share at 9%. Greece, Germany, and Serbia are following. Latvia ranked 63rd in the Albania total imports with a 0.05% value, and number 55th in the exports with a 0.02%. That means there is still place for improvement. Yeah, key economic strengths for Albania. Well, while relatively small, still fast and fast growing. After the pandemic, the economy is recovering fast. Higher, according to this World Bank analysis, the latest higher consumer confidence has increased demand for Albanian exports, and the government support is supporting this recovery. There is growth in trade and construction. Construction is booming. Actually, you notice everywhere bigger, more bolder buildings and infrastructure objects. The travel and tourism, the last year after pandemic, and it's expected for the next year, the tourism will grow massively. It will be the fastest growing industry. Albania has has also invested a lot in the tourism infrastructure. Apart from the coastline, over 300 kilometers of coastline, Adriatic and Ionian Sea. The upper part, the northern part of the coastline is the Adriatic, and it's very similar to the Italian Rimini and Riccione, so very long sandy beaches going slowly in. And the lowest part from Vlora, so the southest part from Vlora is the Ionian Sea. It goes more steepy, people beaches, white sand, white beaches, but goes deeper, and it's a bit 1 or 2 degrees colder than the Adria, and thus more saltier. The party, festival, so tourism and all the tourism experiences that has been lost in existence the last 20 years are growing very fast. Has been growing the last 5 years, and especially after pandemic. They were telling me in Europe that Albania is the new festival destination and event destination and all what's around it. Albania has also very high mountains, rivers, so experiential tourism is also growing in other sectors like mountain hiking and river and all sports, outdoor sports, and the safety has increased. The number of professional tour guides and also the tourism industry and all around it is expected to grow the next years rapidly. While informal economy is still very high and very present in the region, it remains a very big constraint for development and the formal economy. Like other countries in the region, also Albania will face the higher inflation in 2022. It's forecasted 5.5% by the end of this year, and the GDP will raise by 2%. Those of you who has been in holiday to Italy or for work, Greece and Turkey, then I have good news. And if you know these 3 cultures, Albania is a mixture of these. So if you put three cultures in a pan and stir them, that's Albania. And all 3 ancient civilization and modern civilization has shaped Albania of today. But of course, 50 years of totalitarian communism has given Albania its own taste. So you might expect people to be culturally similar to these 3 cultures. Temperament, they are loud and they are friendly and they are very loud sometimes. And also the culinarics. So you can have the Albanian specialties are really totally a mixture from Italian, Greek and Turkish food. And if you like it, then that you know that it's the best. Albania is a pre-accession country, and the negotiations are started in 2022. As I said, it would be likely that it's the first country to join from the Western Balkans. Albania's multicultural and multi-religious heritage will shape the consumption preferences for the local population in the future. Albania is totally secular in communism, and people are experimenting with religions. Of course, every religion then tends to have its own shape. So you'll find different statistics saying Albania is 70% Muslim, and some others will say Albania is 40% Orthodox, and then the Catholics are also claiming their share. Well, the last census, the religion was not collected. That's why you cannot say, but practitioners of Muslim religion are more in number, outnumbered. And the rest are seculars. Maybe they have Muslim names from the last generations, but they are not practicing Muslims. New spending priorities in Albania after the pandemic. Of course, the pandemic was really hard, and the restrictions were harder than anywhere. So they had really shopping restriction and checked by police and the regulations to go out. So now they went back to normal shopping habits and physical shops. Travel and HoReCa sectors are recovering. However, they are expected. So the inflation and the price rising has come. So people are saving a bit more. So then it's expected to tighten their expenditures. Of course, non-essential foods will be still spent, but we are expecting to have more savings in other non-necessary products. Budget format products and private label consumer products are likely to further gain popularity. Rapid development of online shopping, of course, it started and it's growing. 73% of Albanian population have internet penetration. The shape of population increasing, buying online was 10% in 2019, in 21, 38%, and expecting to go 41 by the end of this year. It's harder for cross-border online shopping because of the credit cards limitations. Nevertheless, they are buying online. So the online buying is there and is to stay. People buy normally online on the local shops through Instagram and Facebook, and then it's delivered by local couriers. Access to market, trade relations between the European Union and Albania are governed by the EU Stabilization Association Agreement. It provides the free trade with some exceptions concerning a limited number of agricultural and dairy products. Under this agreement, EU product of some exports like dairy, certain cereals, and certain seeds are not liberalized, but they have a reduction of tariff rates. The agreement also ensures protection for the geographical indication for drinks listed in this agreement. There are trade barriers. Possible are the compliance with product-specific rules. Local legislation and practices are still to be harmonized with the EU standards. Local product labeling, advertising, and trade practice regulations. The judicial system is still weak and will be also the one of the first to go through reforms. The reforms have started, but it takes so long after 30 years of a highly corrupted judiciary system. It takes a bit of time to reshuffle and to restart. Albania ranks 110th in the Corruption Perception Index, so petty corruption is still very popular. You can corrupt really with $20, $30 euros. Also small officials. Yet it's police and customs. It's reduced. So I feel it every day. It's much better than it was 10 years back. But still, locals tell me that still is possible. Price and currency fluctuations. Of course, Albania is not a member of Eurozone. How we'll see it, Kosovo is already a Euro member, but Albania not. Euro is accepted everywhere. Credit cards are accepted everywhere. So prices are quoted in euros. Of course, the culture and language barrier is also a trade barrier. Logistics. Albania is like the local hub, the Western Balkans hub when it comes to the logistics. That's why when we look at the countries, these countries are very small, but we say Albania creates the hub for not only the two Albanian-speaking countries, but also the whole Western Balkans. Albania borders with Greece in the south, North Macedonia in the east, Kosovo in the northeast, and Montenegro on the north. We share maritime borders with Croatia and Italy. Regular ferry and ferry boats go from all Albanian ports, Durrës and Vlora and Shëngjin to Italy. Accessed by land, sea, and air. Good connections with key European transport corridors. Albania connects also other Mediterranean countries with the countries of Balkans via networks of these ports and highways. The highways are new ones are being built and the old ones are being repaired. So the road infrastructure has improved drastically in the last years. Still, you don't calculate European travel time. If it's 100 kilometers, doesn't mean that you can travel in 1 hour because of the also sometimes the interruptions or I don't know, traffic lights and unexpected things happening in the highways. The ports, the four main ports are Durrës, Vlora, Shëngjin, and Saranda. Romana port is a private port. They are being built a lot of private touristic ports. 2 are already finished and 3 are in planning and construction. The international airport of Tirana is Mother Teresa International Airport, is the main one, and it's flown daily from most European airlines and Turkish Airlines. Also, a lot of charter flights are coming in the summer for holiday charters. There is also the Kukës Airport. The Kukës Airport was built during the war in Kosovo. It's a bit located in the north. Is 40 minutes, less than 40 minutes from the border to Kosovo. So it serves both countries, and it's only being served by charter. A new airport is being built in Vlora to access to be more of a touristic and charter airport to access the south of Albania for touristic purposes. National Post, Posta Shqiptare provides mail delivery. The services have increased and the trust and reliability of the post has increased a lot the last years. Private and foreign postal courier services, all of them, DHL, FedEx, UPS, TNT, and others are present and operate in Albania and facilitating the cross-border e-commerce. You can ask me questions afterwards for Albania. I'll do Kosovo, and if it's okay, then we can take off for both countries. Kosovo is a very small landlocked country in the Western Balkans. Well, if you talk to Kosovars, they say they are Albanians, and the country is called Kosovo. They were part of the Yugoslavia, and the language is indeed Albanian. They speak Albanian, they feel Albanian, and they had the Albanian flag with a black two-headed eagle until their independence in 2008, and now they have an own flag because they had to, because of the different geopolitical requests. So Kosovo is really small, 10,000 square kilometers, 1.8 million in population. The capital city is Pristina. Currency of Kosovo is euro because a very simple reason. Before the independence, Kosovo was using Deutschmark, and afterwards they took euro. So official language is Albanian, so they speak Albanian. They speak a North dialect, and the official language is also Serbian. Most of the adults speak both languages fluently. The young generation, not anymore. They don't speak Serbian unless they are of a Serbian nationality or they are of a Serbian, went to Serbian schools. GDP current $9 billion. The GDP per capita purchasing power parity in 2021 was 12,000, slightly under the Albanian. The GDP growth was 9.1 after the pandemic, and the inflation for 2021 is 3.4, is expected also to go higher. Kosovo is a young country. It's not recognized by all the countries. The size of Kosovo is comparable to that of Latvia's. Kosovo is now an upper middle income country. and has experienced a solid economic growth in the past decade. Kosovo has the youngest population in Europe. Half of its rough 2 million population is under the age of 25. Top imports from Latvia of Kosovo are plastics, machinery and appliances, chemicals, minerals, optical products, food products, other articles, miscellaneous articles, foods and beverages, pulp and paper, vehicles, and others. While top exports to Latvia are only 3 voices, so the biggest voice is vegetables, then textiles, and machinery and appliance, very small. Kosovo's imports primarily from the EU, 44%, Turkey, China, Serbia, Albania, North Macedonia, and other countries. And in 2021, its imports reached 1.6 billion. There were mainly industrial products, 74, agricultural products, 26, and fish products, 0.2. Kosovo has grown and outperformed its neighbors the last decade. At the same time, Kosovo has a lot of remittances that diaspora sends. Kosovo is much there where we see the differences with Albania, because Albania was totalitarian communism till 1990, and Kosovo remittances from the diaspora was 30 years advanced. Poverty is estimated to have decreased to under 20% in 2021. According to the World Bank, the economy is expected to grow by 3.9 in 2022, but the downside risk remain. After COVID, the recovery was healthy, but the Russian invasion to Ukraine has also affected their economic prospects. Inflation is expected to rise to 5.4% in 2022, and maybe also higher because they are directly connected to the Eurozone. The World Bank expects that Kosovo imports will rise due to a higher domestic demand. Kosovo is a net importer of food, agricultural inputs, and energy. It's exposed to global price inflation for that. Kosovo was part of the Yugoslavia till 2008, and year when Kosovo declared its independence. So that means Kosovo was already an exporting country, while Albania had to start from scratch. It's international relations and a private economy. Kosovo was part of the big Yugoslavia, so they had already a business and entrepreneurship culture, and they were suppliers of Serbia, Macedonia, North Macedonia now, Montenegro, and other parts of the federation. We say Kosovo is an important, has a patriarchal tradition. There is no official religion in Kosovo, but still also like in Albania, Kosovo tends to have a majority of Muslim population. The remaining populations are Serb Orthodox and Albanian Catholic. The inflation pressure is less severe in Kosovo because of the EU so far, but while growing in the Eurozone, also Kosovo will be affected. The average gross monthly salaries in Kosovo are under €500, which shows that the population has a high price sensitivity for imported products. Many families rely heavily on remittances from the diaspora working abroad. Local consumers have a very positive attitude and even preference for products imported to the EU, according to the Balkan Barometer. And this is also the case in Albania, so they would prefer import products towards local products. E-commerce, of course, the pandemic is everywhere, has boosted the e-commerce development. And to 2021, 24% of Kosovo population shopped online. However, despite this growing interest in online shopping, consumers have their difficulties when it comes to local credit cards not being accepted internationally, or the spread of the credit cards in the population. Kosovo since 2016 has trade relations with the European Union based on the EU-Kosovo Stabilization and Association Agreement. The agreement established a free trade area over this transitional period with exceptions for some dairy, fruits, vegetables, and wine that are not fully liberalized, but they have reduced duties. As I mentioned before, Kosovo unilaterally adopted euro as its official currency in 2022 because of the previous use of the D-mark. Possible trade barriers are that Kosovo is not yet a EU state, a member state, so compliance with local products and rules is necessary. The legal system, developing the legal system, laws and regulations are inconsistent and poorly enforced. And IPR, intellectual rights and intellectual protection are still weak. There are institutional and cultural barriers. Informal economy is also has a great part in Kosovo, and low purchasing power because the society is depending on the remittances from the diaspora. We should not forget Kosovo is a young state, and they had to create their everything from they were never governing their state. The legislation, the language, the legislation had all to be prepared in Albanian, and so yeah, we should give time to Kosovo, but is really very good performing. Kosovo is located in the heart of Balkans, has borders with Serbia, North Macedonia, Albania, and Montenegro. The main airport is Pristina International Port. You can also drive by car. Road infrastructure has improved a lot. There is a highway from Tirana to Pristina, the new highway. It's called the National Highway that connects. So it's very easy to reach from Pristina. You can reach very easy the port of Durrës and vice versa. It helps also, it benefited from the network of the European Union network transport. Kosovo is not recognized as an independent state by Serbia. So after the war in Kosovo that lasted a couple of years, 1999, the war for independence, in 2008, they declared independence. And today still many countries like Spain, Slovakia, Cyprus, Romania, and Greece do not recognize Kosovo as their own state, which results in different limitations in logistics and of course, international bank transfers. The NATO still runs a support operation, a peace support operation in Kosovo, and also troops from Latvia are present. Logistic disruptions are rare, but very often due to ongoing disputes with the neighbor in Serbia, sometimes also they call terrorist threats or civil unrest due to ethnic tensions on the borders. Nevertheless, I personally traveled through Kosovo, so from Austria to Hungary to Serbia to Kosovo and then to Albania by car. And if the political unrest is not, so the political central government, there is peace, then there is nothing on the borders, and there is a dispute from two politicians, and then automatically in the cross-border points, the both sides of the border guards or police officers start to delay or I don't know, make disputes and make unnecessary checks. So yeah, as long as they're not recognized, the land borders from Serbia are still risky, but the other land borders, then it's no problem. Well, I tried to summarize as much as I can, but I'm very happy to take your questions for both countries.
Thank you, Cecilia. Yeah, don't be shy to write in questions or speak. Meanwhile, while we are wrapping this one up, I'll take over the screen. Yes, as participants are still thinking about the questions, I would really like to wrap up all the knowledge that we heard about these 4 countries, and the notion that I had is that actually we are all very similar. If we look at Latvia and these 4 countries looked upon, then we are similar economically wise, we are similar historically wise, we are all similar also cultural wise. Of course there are differences, but if you look also in the Baltics, then also each Baltic country is a bit different. We are the same, but still we do have our national traits. So in general, we are all the same, and we don't need to be afraid of each other. But there are, of course, some things that can be very useful for Latvian exporter.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
And and one thing that is definitely important is that if we combine all these 4 countries together, we do have 26 million of potential consumers. And if you look from the Latvian side, with our almost 2 million, then 26 million is really a huge market that can be looked upon. And that is definitely a thing to take away, that there is close markets with a lot of buyers, and we do have free trade agreements. That is definitely a thing to think about. Secondly, despite the fact that there are some kind of setbacks at the moment and so slowdowns, but that is a temporary thing. Still, the markets are developing, they are growing, they are dynamic. So therefore, this is also a thing to keep in mind. And thirdly, thing that we can take away from all this is that Latvia already does something, not much, but something we are doing that gives us good credit, as well as we are known. That means that we are not trying to introduce something unique and unknown, which is also very, very good, that we can use as an advantage, that all these countries know of us, they know what we can do, where we are strong in, and we can help these markets also to grow. And additionally, they are close. They are even closer than we think they are. So these would be, I would say, my takeaways from all the 4 country presentations. Andrea, Cecilia, maybe there's something from your side that you also see that is a good thing to draw out.
Well, maybe I start. I mean, as like Albania and Kosovo, or regarding Albania and Kosovo, it's not only to be seen that only these 2 countries, but as the hub. So the Western Balkans is huge. Then, okay, we're talking Romania and Moldova, then Andrei will speak up. But if you see the Western Balkans, they are really a huge market with a huge market potential, growing population, young population, and purchasing power parity growing every year. So they are a very nice hub. And in Albania, for example, the olives, I don't know you have ever been there, but it's warm and a mild climate, olive groves and lemons and agrumes. And also you can swim till end of November, end of October, and sometimes also in early November. In the southern part of Albania, bananas are growing. And on the other side, there are mountains. So like 1.5 hours from the coastline, you have mountains full of snow, also from November. So they are very close, 2-3 hours flight away. Young population, also with the mentality, like you said, we are very similar. Communism kind of we understand each other more what we went through. So this totalitarian communism also has bounded people, and I also visited the Latvian Museum of Communism, and the old apartments, they looked exactly the same as in Albania. So yeah,
so
we
that
have
definitely proves that we are similar in a way.
Common,
we are similar.
there is a common part of history that makes us similar in tastes and development. And there is high respect from Albanian and Kosovo part to the Baltics. They don't know much. If I ask them, do you know where is Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania? And they say, I don't know, somewhere up there. And I believe that for most Europeans, also the Balkans is uncharted. You don't exactly know where's Kosovo, where is Albania, Macedonia, which is the capital. But still, you see as a group of countries up there, and so the Western Balkans are a very cool piece of South, still in development.
Yes, thank you, Andrei. Maybe you have a comment?
Yes, I think I agree with Satila. This, and I think we all share the same wounds, I would say, from the past, from the former Soviet Union history. But I think we also, since we share these wounds and this history, I think we feel the same. And if we look back at what Latvia was before 2004, before joining the EU, I think we are repeating the same story, but way much faster. I was looking at the statistical data, for example. I was comparing Republic of Moldova, Romania. We are already, as in terms of purchasing power and GDP, just like Romania entered, for example, EU. I haven't checked the data for Latvia, but I mean, when Romanians are coming to Romanian citizens are coming to Moldova, say, but you are like 10 years back or 20 years back, like Romania. I mean, everything that happened in EU will happen here. I mean, the boom of investment, the investments in infrastructure, the consumption growth, the diversification. Because I think the main competitive advantage if I'm talking about Moldova and maybe probably Albania also, is still the fact that we are the underdevelopment in some areas. So that means that a lot of things will happen, just like there was a question with healthcare, education, infrastructure, but also industry. Moldova, for example, from a mostly agricultural country, becomes now an industrial country, services-based country. I think Latvia is alike in this respect. And talking about Romania, I think we're on the kind of on the edge of the Western Eastern culture, but now Ukraine, I think, is on the edge even more, facing the war themselves. I mean, which is totally changing it, but I think we have adapted. We were so much afraid of the war in February, but I think we have the idea that we can live with it, do business, even in this respect, help our neighbors, help our economies, help our people, and why not try and win this war with authoritarian regimes. Maybe that's more populistic, but if we do business quite well, I think we are able to show good examples, and Romania and Moldova are a good example in this respect. Though we have still a lot of influence from the Russians, still part of our population in Moldova is, I would say, pro-Russian, but I think you are facing the same thing in Latvia from the Russians that are living there. But I think they also see what these wounds from the former Soviet Union are bringing. Nothing else but tears, war. And I think we should face what the Western culture is bringing and do more business with the EU and do more business between our countries and try to grow in this respect and show nice success stories of doing business between ourselves so that this brings more light for East. Thank you.
Thank you for inspiring words. But now let's turn to our last speaker. That means only the better one, as this will be a real life story. A company that works in Eastern Europe and can share their their knowledge and their experience and their learnings. Udi, I most probably then will do the clicking, so it's more convenient for you.
Okay, thank you very much to Leah and to Gateway and Partners for invitation in this event and for possibility to tell a little bit about our good jobs in export. This main topic of this event, of course, about Balkan countries. Preco company, Preco has some export contracts also for Balkan countries, but I can say that this still is not our very, what can I say, very good progress for exports in these countries. From valuation of our company side, the most successful for us, this is a project together from beginning with Gateway and Partners, and this is our project in Czech Republic. And if we, about our company, what we are doing and what we are producing. Our main product is different kind of conveying systems for agricultural, for food industry, and different type of conveyors for bulk products, for grain, for different kind of pellets. And we are in this market since 2005. And if we compare about our competitors here in Baltic countries, Preco company is biggest manufacturer in Baltic states of this kind of equipment and industrial equipment. Yeah. And mostly products from technological point of view, our products is produced from steel sheets and galvanized steel sheets, and that means that the technology and all designing and all products we are producing, that is more or less specific. In our factory now, we are 45 employees. That include management, that include sales department, and then we are not a very big company. We are trying to be flexible company, but not to grow in these figures and employees. Yeah. Right now we are exporting our production for different countries. Mostly that is Europe, economical Europe, EU countries, and altogether market share that is approximately 65%. Most export countries these are Baltic countries, but if we speak especially about Czech Republic, that is, I think, very good success. We are during 3 years our Czech market that is in top 5 for our exports, and I think that is a very good success for our company and also in cooperation with our partners. So yeah, here is again about our productions, our products, that is conveying equipment and also drying equipment. But if we compare about these products, conveying equipment, that is approximately 70% of our production, some 30% that is grain drying equipment. So we are produce different, as I said, different kind of conveyors, and that is giant conveyors. These are flight conveyors, also for vertical conveying, bucket elevators, and capacity of our conveyors that is starting from 10 tons per hour up to 500 tons per hour. And this biggest capacity equipment that is suitable also for big terminals in ports and big terminals next by river and river ports, and that means that our produced conveyors, conveying systems are very wide possibility for operations in small farms, agricultural farms, in small food factories, and also in very big port terminals. So about our mine exports, I was tell a little bit that that is our top export countries. Of course, these are our neighbor countries. These are Lithuania and Estonia, as I say, also Germany, but in the 5 tops, it is the Czech Republic. Also some small deliveries to Romania, Bulgaria. As I said, we have small experience, but that is not big progress still in these countries. I hope will be better during next years, I hope. So especially about Czech Republic. That was very important from the beginning to understand, to know how big is potential for our products in every country and also in Czech Republic. The Czech Republic that is a very big producer of agricultural products, and especially for crop production. And that's because this decision to try to expand in the Czech market. From the beginning, we selected 5 companies. With these 5 companies, we started discussions about possibility and interests of cooperation. And these five companies, we meet with these 5 companies in Czech Republic, in these offices with marketing peoples, with sales peoples, with head managers, and from beginning that's impressions that more or less good cooperation will be possible with as minimum 4 companies. In practice, this was a little bit different. In reality, in the Czech Republic, we start real cooperation with just 1 company. But this cooperation, I think that is very, very successful. Basic reasons why cooperation was very successful, that is that this company is also very good experience in grain conveying systems, and also in designing of technologies, also in integration in some factories, and this company also has a management for installation jobs, and that is a full service for every end customer, and that was very interesting for us. From the beginning, that was very important to understand specifics in Czech market, and that is also for every country. We agreed about our Czech partners about Preco conveyors will be upgraded for Czech standards, especially for conveyor inlets, outlets, because that is a Czech Republic using some little bit different standards for for pipe systems. And that was very important to be flexible in every market, as in this case, in Czech market, to integrate for possibility to integrate our conveying systems with existing technological systems. And that was very successful proceed from the beginning. So the next step that was meeting in real factories in Czech Republic, where our partners was established some equipments and on the sites discussed about technical specialties, about technological possibilities of our equipment, and compare our equipment with maybe some competitive companies' equipment. That was very, very important from the beginning in every cooperation to discuss and to fix these specifics in every market, in every country. Yeah, so after our visiting, that was of course a lot of job for different kind of specifications for the first projects, for the first deliveries, and the first delivery for our Czech partners was just approximately after 1 year. 1 year after the first contacts and the first meetings. That means that every new business in a new country, that is not so easy to start immediately. That is necessary to be ready for progress, not day by day, but we can say months by months. So this is in general our good experience in Czech market, and this is what can I say? Our wish in our company, that is for every new market we will start in future, this startup and this progress will be like in our progress in Czech Republic. And that's also thank you very much to Gateway and Partners for very, very, very good start for these business relations with our Czech partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you just for sharing your experience. I know that despite the Czech Republic, there are also other markets you are looking into. Can you comment more on the business culture or relationship? Are they easy, not easy? Is there something that people should keep in mind when working with Eastern European countries?
If we speak about Eastern Europe, and especially with our business partners from countries with a little bit similar history during last 70 years, this helps to understand each other better. And this helps for first contacts and also for non-formal discussions after maybe business discussions. If we speak about also technological side, that's also some kind of technological equipment that is a little bit similar. We are used during last some 50, 60 years, and not always all technological equipment. It is reasonably to change all factory, for the instance, but maybe some part of all technology, and this also helps from technological side to integrate this equipment. That's from mechanical side, of course. That is just from mechanical side. That is yeah, but my experience, not just in Czech Republic but also in other countries, that is communication between nations with a little bit similar history. It helps for good starting of contacts.
Thank you. Maybe there are some other questions to ask to Uģis. Meanwhile, I will send out a poll that we would like our participants to reply on while we still continue. Yeah, if you have any questions, then please write it in the chat. But to summarize what Uģis has said, I can say that there are common grounds that actually working with Eastern European countries or markets, they are good partners. We do have a lot of common, but it also means that you really need to know who is your right partner in the market. That not all gonna be the right one, and that there are very specifics of where both company needs click. So therefore, not all partners are good partners there, but there's definitely one at least perfect one, and which actually shows your story in Czech Republic also proves Gateway's 18 years experience. As this year, last week, we celebrated our 18th anniversary. So actually the statistics is still there. That from 5 partners, definitely in a year 2 with one company, you will start to work, but with all the 4 others, you will keep in contact, but let's see whether it's gonna be the perfect match. Another thing that you also prove that this real-time meetings, that meeting company, developing relationship, is very, very essential in export. Export is not fast. It's still a marathon, not a sprint. So therefore, it will take time, and that relationship will be developed, and because business and also export is between people, not between businesses. So yeah, thank you for your story. This actually shows what export really is. We think that we will just go to the market and we're there and we start to export, but in reality, it is much more fun. And I have to say that export is really for people and companies who have a vision, who want to get more, who want to grow, and who are eager to find out what is gonna come next. So the ride is very, very interesting. There will be ups and downs, as you see, and it is not gonna be short, but really full of emotions. Usually when I meet companies and they say I'm doing a lot of things and I don't know why they're not buying, what's wrong with them? Then I have to say that the answer is quite easy in all of these cases. Mostly they don't buy because they don't know that we exist. And the same as we know that there are small countries somewhere in Eastern Europe. We know that they're there, but then you find out that Romania is the 6th largest largest country. So largest market where to go. So that is something that we can take off, and maybe that is something we can work on. So mostly they don't buy because they don't know that we exist. And if they don't know that we exist, then there's only one way how to let them know, is actually to talk. And communication is a very good tool. And actually, in war, all weapons are good. So there's no difference. How are you talking? Whether it's through digital marketing, whether it's through exhibitions and trade fairs, whether that is also, for example, very actively supported by Latvian Investment Development Agency. There are different kind of matchmaking events and trade visits, as well as individual talks and individual meetings with the companies in their market is also a very good tool. For example, that is what Gateway helps with those individual talks. So any way you decide to go and talk and let them know that you are here is a very good tool. And definitely that needs to be used. And the best way how to do is actually get help. Now, you are not here alone, and thank you very much to Investment Development Agency that there is export support program that still helps companies to do actually all their wishes and get there in real life. And I have left it in Latvian, so all small and medium companies can get funding to go export, and there are a lot of activities that you can do, and definitely go and check the homepage and find out more. And the funding is minimum 80% of the whole expenses. So definitely go and get help. There are options that just needs to be used. There is a historical story that yes, bisons was very, very popular a long time ago, but they had one very bad thing that they did. Every time that they heard a gunshot, they froze. And because they just got scared, and they decided just to wait it and let it pass. And of course, now we do not see bisons at all, which means that don't be them. Let's move. Let's survive. I think that the last 2 years have tried, I think, all that they can think of. And as yesterday I spoke with one company, and they said, well, at the moment we have opinion, let's bring it on. So I really advise all of us in all the countries we are, let it bring it on. And the only thing that we need to do is not freeze, but move and think of different kind of ways how we can make other people know that we exist. Yeah, if there are any questions, you're welcome. The floor is yours. Maybe some comments from our panelists, and if you have any questions more to ask, then definitely you can get in contact with me. If you have any questions to Moldova, Romania, Albania, or Kosovo, please, drop a line. I will forward the questions to our speakers. And thank you for your time and your interest in these markets. I see the results of the poll that says that the the seminar was useful. So thank you for your revelation, and let's keep in touch in future. Thank you, and I think we can call it a day.